gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk. I'm your host, Saieed Ali, a spiritual consultant and real estate businessman. Remember, for those of you that are having spiritual problems, you can feel free to contact me. Those of you who have properties to sell, you can also contact me. If you have a property to sell, or you have a property and you're lacking finance and you want to mortgage your property, it's not a problem. You can get in touch with us also. Those of you who lend your friends and your family your hard-earned cash and you cannot get it back, feel free to contact Real Talk Debt Collection Department, and we were glad to assist you in getting back your hard-earned cash. Now, viewers, it's Thursday night, the day before Good Friday. The Easter weekends begin from tomorrow. I know the Christians are fasting for the Lent. So before I start off my show tonight, I want to wish them a happy and holy Lent season. All around the world, some of them are fasting and praying. Being a Christian, they believe in Jesus Christ. I have nothing wrong with nobody's religions. I don't condemn. I came into this world and I meet that. I will die and go, and that will be still there. So I want to wish them a happy and holy Lent season and the Easter weekend. So viewers, as we start off our program tonight, there's a lot of things we're going to be talking about. But tonight's show, Real Talk want to host a food drive. And I need your assistance because, listen this, there are many people in Trinidad and Tobago who lost their work because of COVID-19. And there are many people in Trinidad and Tobago that worked for individual and cannot get grants from the government because they don't pay NIS. A guy called me last night, just after my show. He's working for a security company for X amount of time. No NIS payments. When he went, no NIS payment. When he asked his boss to give him a letter so he could be able to get the rental assistance grant, his boss said he cannot do that. So we are ending up in problems in Trinidad and Tobago. And tonight, viewers, last night we had some problems, not Real Talk Studios, but around Trinidad and Tobago, people have been calling and saying that they were not hearing us. So if you are not hearing us, you can go to YouTube, TT Real Talk, subscribe, hit the bell, and you would hear us on YouTube. Even Facebook, Real Talk with Saieed Ali, and you would hear us there perfectly. So feel free to share our live stream as we go along, so people would know that there's a platform for them that they could call and vent their frustration concerning issues that are going on in their community. So now, viewers, those of you who are locked on to Real Talk, whether you're local or you're in an island of the Caribbean, feel free to get in touch with me at 339-1670 or call my office at 238-6716 to pledge a contribution, whether it's cash or whether it's grocery, to donate to families throughout Trinidad and Tobago. Feel free to do that because we are in a time of need. Now, I always tell people, when you contribute, when you as a citizen contribute to the needy, when you give willingly, sometimes you just end up in a position where you yourself need help. It might be financially, it might be food-wise, but you might end up in a problem and you would need help. And you know the good Lord will send somebody to assist you in that situation. You know why? Because of the little thing that you do. The little good deed that you do. So viewers, feel free to call in 238-6716. Let me hear what you have to say concerning issues of the day. But feel free to call us to make a donation, to make a pledge to the less fortunate. in Trinidad and Tobago. This is something I want to start on Real Talk. You see, it's not just coming on Real Talk now and explaining to you what is taking place in Trinidad, explaining to you your rights as a citizen. It's not just getting laws and legislations passed. As you all have seen, Real Talk did that from September to December last year. The amount of legislation and bills and laws passed because we pushed for it and we got it. So in 2 years' time, in 4 months actually, 6 legislations and 2 laws that were signed by the president, we pushed for it and we got it. So it's not just about that alone. Now, it's about creating a platform now so the less fortunate in our society in Trinidad could get help. Now, I need your help. I'm not asking you to contribute to keep my show on the air. It's not about that. It's not about, well, I'm giving a donation for Saieed or I'm putting an ad on Saieed's show to have to fund his platform. No, you're not doing that. What I'm asking you to do is to contribute, whether it's cash, whether it's grocery, to help the poor in our society today. This is how I want to redirect Real Talk. To give back businessmen in society. Let me tell you something. You all didn't have a chain of business just like that. Yes, you put out your money, you make your investment, but at the end of the day, it's the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago that have you all owning a chain of business. A chain of business. Feel free to contribute. I could call names, I could call real big names, But I want to let you contribute. When you contribute, I'll big you up on TV. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But it's time now that we give back. I redirect my platform to the people now. We get laws, we get legislations passed, whatever it is, to give power to the police, for the citizen rights. We've discussed all that. But now I redirect them because I realize people need help. They need help now. Call, good night.
Hey.
Yes, my friend.
Yes, I think all parliamentarians should donate 2 months of their salary towards this thing.
Thank you, my friend. Well said, well said. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. So viewers, feel free to call us. Call me, 339-1670. It doesn't matter how small it is. The old folks have a saying, drop by drop, this full the barrel. Drop by drop, there's full the barrel. So as we start off tonight, we're starting off with the private labs. Private labs do not have to be validated by CAFA to conduct COVID-19 tests in Trinidad and Tobago. This is according to Health Minister Terence Dial-Singh. He said it is not a legal requirement. The minister, however, explained that there are guidelines that these private labs should follow.
So what is being done with the Ministry of Health, PAHO, and CAFA, they will institute the policies. It's not a legal requirement. It's just a validation of process, a validation of kits to make sure that the results we get, which form part of our national database, are results that we can rely on.
On Monday, the minister encouraged private labs to start testing.
We want to encourage private labs to do testing. We want to encourage it. We are asking all private labs, once you have your PCR machines, to approach CAFA for validation. The new regulations under Section 8 now puts a positive requirement, a positive duty of care on private labs who are certified by CAFA to have a positive reporting obligation to report their results directly to the Chief Medical Officer.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But now here the citizens now, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago will have to pay the private lab for testing. So that is where the problem comes in. So when he made that statement, I asked myself, we have hospitals throughout Trinidad and Tobago. Why not put the PCR equipment in the hospitals so that they could conduct testing in the hospitals and speed up the process? So instead of the individuals have to pay for it in a private institute, they can go to the health centers. Keep in mind, there are health centers throughout Trinidad. More or less in every district in Trinidad and Tobago, there is a health center. So why not buy the equipment, ship it in, or let China donate 100, 200 PCR machine. Since China is doing a lot of donations to Trinidad, they could donate that and let the Minister of Health put it in various health centers and hospitals throughout Trinidad and Tobago. You know why? So that the citizen would not have to pay for this. You are making it easy for them to go to the hospital and to go to the health centers in their area. If I am talking foolishness, people of Trinidad and Tobago, you tell me. You tell me. Now the minister is giving the labs them okay as long as they follow the correct guidelines now and they have the PCR to go ahead. In previous statement, he told the citizen that he cannot control the pricing that a private lab would charge. So you're encouraging the citizen to go to the private labs now. That is what you're doing. Why not? Why not buy 100, 200 PCRs and place them in the health centers in the community so you would be able to have testing done in the community so you would be able to know exactly where the COVID-19 are in Trinidad. How simple. That is common sense. Caller, good night.
Yeah, good night, Saeed.
Go right ahead.
Saeed, you know this virus come out since, you could say November last year, right?
Yes.
And you tell me that for Carnival, nobody had come with a virus in Trinidad? nobody, all the travelers that come down didn't come with a virus in Trinidad? And the ex-policy is, if they didn't spend the $47 million behind Skinner Park, right? Everybody that gets something in behalf of Trinidad and Tobago right now.
True.
All the poor people that get something, but they spend out the $47 million. Trinidad is 1.3 million people. Right? That 1.3 million people, 47 million, they get everybody that gets something to go by.
Thank you, my friend. Makes sense. Makes sense. Let me tell you something. You see the HSF fund, the Heritage and Stabilization Fund, I am waiting patiently. I am waiting patiently to see what the present administration is bringing forward to go down in that. It's billions. And I am waiting patiently. Keep in mind, we have over $3 million, I believe, in US. It's $3 million US, I did mention on previous shows, what the government said they have in the bank, and the businessman can't get US. Remember that? I think that 3 million or 3 billion US or something like that they have. Yes. So why not buy PCRs and put them in the health centers so the community would be able to go to the health center and get the testing done free? Instead of we done it working, we done it have money, and now we have to come out with money now to go to the private labs and them to pay. And the thing is, how much would we, the citizen, be paying for a COVID-19 test in a private lab? How much? Caller, good night.
A very good evening to you, Mr. Saeed.
To you, my friend.
And I was about to make that exact same comment, but you beat me to the draw. However,
Thank you, my friend.
good point. However,
Yes.
the monies that is going to be given out as a grant or a help to the unemployed, why don't, okay, so the government, the ministry should know exactly what PCR test would cost,
Yes.
and let the labs and whatnot do a receipt, so there is no corruption involved. There will be no corruption involved, and the government absorb that bill. Where is people who is not working now going to find that? And I guess that test might be expensive. Where are they going to find that money to do that test? Right now, the little money that people have, they're trying to make sure that they have some groceries and some food in the house.
Yes.
So I think they should consider that. All the best. Because no other country in the world charging for this. All the best.
True, true. Thank you, my friend. So, viewers, why not? All these set of billions they want to spend, ask for a donation from China for probably 100, 200 PCR machine to equip the health centers with. There's no big maths, you know. That is not no big maths. All this billion that we want to invest in giving back in this grant and that grant and the next grant, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But this is how much people would qualify for the grant. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Said.
Go right ahead.
Said, do you know that the private test for the COVID is costing $900? Plus, when you go and do the test, the government is recommending that the labs don't give you the result.
Go to CAFA.
Send the result to CAFA. So although you go and do a test, you would not know if you are positive or negative.
True.
Until the results goes to CAFA, and then they, through the government now, would be able to contact you and let you know. So I don't really know what it is these people are really doing in this country with this situation. And secondly, that Heritage and Stabilization Fund should never be used in this situation as yet. That's supposed to be used when all our resources have been diminished.
Yes.
We don't have any opportunity to borrow from the World Bank or any other countries. Then we need to go into that Stabilization and Heritage Fund. That is what they call a rainy day fund.
Exactly.
To help when you are in a dire consequences. We are not in a dire consequences as yet. There are plenty things that we can do to manage our situation yet. It just takes proper planning and proper management. And this is not what is happening right now from this government.
Thank you, my
Good
friend.
afternoon, sir. Take care.
Is the correct thing to do. You're spending billions right around the world. We are in the same crisis. You are the health minister. Let me tell you something. I don't know who is advising you or what is advising you. But all you're failing to realize, at the end of the day, when election times come around, all you're coming by the people. All you're coming by the people. And it take a man like me, Saeed, to tell all you in the health ministry, make an investment in PCRs and put it in the health centers. In the health centers. How hard that is. And you would know exactly which area have more COVID-19 than which area, so you would know exactly how to maintain it, how to keep it down. As we move on tonight, now viewers, feel free to contact us, make a contribution. I want to hear from you. Because there are less fortunate people out there, and with this thing that is happening in Trinidad, people have to stay home now. It becomes more hard. So I want to hear from you now as we move along. Government's initiative to contract a service, this Annex Bacchanal again, to contract a service of 4 private security firms to patrol residential area was welcomed by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. This was the announcement made by the Police Commissioner, Mr. Griffith, at today's media briefing conference. His statement came 2 days after the government made an announcement, and 1 day after they cancelled the patrols.
Recently, there was a situation pertaining to the recommendation of private security. Again, based on persons just trying to change words to believe that there's some difference in opinion. It is not. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, we're a very professional organization. As the Commissioner of Police, there was a headline that was stated that the police reignited private security. That was not true. The police cannot reignite. The police cannot authorize. The police cannot fund such a situation. However, it does not mean that the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, we were not part of this process. It does not mean that the Commissioner of Police was not aware. We were aware. I have my views on it, and I saw value to it.
Now, viewers, that was the views of the Commissioner of Police in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, listen this. Listen this. 4 firms were selected. Who owns 3 firms? Is it one person that owning 3 firms? And the other one were owned by one owner? Is something I drop in? Is that a bombshell I drop in for all you? Is that a little bombshell I drop in for all you? One person owned 3 firms. I tell all you, I have an intelligence unit running. Now a man could buy a firm and let it run under the same name that it is running. So it's a little homework now I'm giving all you. It's a little homework I'm giving all you. So now, before what I heard from an intel source is that there were patrols in certain areas already. And our Prime Minister now, in a press release today, words go like, the Prime Minister, they had was to pull back this because of oh God, let me get it for you. All right. So here we go. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley noted that the intended residential private patrol was stopped because it was creating racial strife and discord. What racial strife and discord are you talking about? What? Residential patrols was stopped. Listen carefully, eh? Residential. So 85,000, between 70 to 80,000 was going to one private firm for residential patrols. I tell you, I just like to get my sources before I come and boss it, you know. So now I want to know now, was a contract signed? And if they call off the patrol, like I said last on my previous show, how much did the contract cost to terminate? Remember, when the government of Trinidad presently signed a contract with Gazuba International for building houses throughout Trinidad. Remember when they had to cancel that project? Remember they breached the contract? How many millions in US were paid? Come now, man. Come now, man. How quickly we citizens just forget. So I want to know now, between the Minister of National Security, this has nothing to do with the Commissioner, you know. Between the Minister of National Security now, and the Prime Minister, which is the head of the Security Council in Trinidad and Tobago, how much money were paid if there was a contract? How much money were paid? I tell you, let's hit the correct answer, the correct statement, you know. And on top of that now, the Prime Minister saying now, creating a racial strife and discord. Hardware is opening from 8 to 12. Pharmacies and grocery have between 6 to 8 p.m. to shut down. So technically Trinidad shut down after 8. Let's just say by 9 o'clock. 90% of the people in their house. Why are we paying now for private home security firms to patrol residential area when they are home? You know what people is asking aside, where does get facts from? I just get it from spirit. The Spirit of God will direct me by the correct person. Or the correct person will just walk up to me and say, Saieed, you know, so and so and so and so. Serious? Serious? Where you from? Well, you know, I so and so and so. And they go take out the badge and they go show me. Yeah? So how much money now was paid if there was a contract signed to terminate or to cancel this contract? Would the Minister of National Security come out and make a statement, or the Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Keith Rowley, who is the head of the Security Council in Trinidad and Tobago, would either one of them come out and make a statement and tell the public how much money? And let me tell you something, Mr. Prime Minister. It ain't causing no racial strife or no discord with the public, eh? It's just that we want to see where our tax-paying dollars go in. Because if by 9 o'clock, 90% of Trinidad and Tobago home, and we have TTPS patrolling the streets, because in every county, every district, there's a police station or a police post. If they're patrolling, why we need extra help for? Come now, man. I am a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. Eh? So did one man own 3 security firms? Like I said, somebody could buy over Real Talk Production, you know, and pay me to be on my show as normal, you know. They would own Real Talk. They would own everything, but just running on that Saieed Ali as normal. As normal. This is news to some of you. This is news to some of you all. My partner may be laughing in the bedroom, lie down on the bed. I'm telling you, call her good night.
Good night, Saieed.
Right ahead.
Yeah, I want to know what is the cost of to hire those foreign nurses from Cuba. And we have nurses here who are in the front line. What is their salary? And to boot it, we have a lot of nurses who are unemployed.
Yes.
And need employment.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Come out and tell the people, well, I get to understand that it have 33 of them in Barbados ready to come home. They're ready to come home. So I would ask the Mr. Moses now. Apparently, Mr. Moses went up the mountain and he's waiting for the laws of God to bring it down back to the citizen. But apparently, like he forget the track he take. Like he forget the track he take. And like he can't come down to the citizen. I tell you, I will mash up all that technically, you know. Don't feel because I am minister of so-and-so and I am minister of so-and-so, you'll frighten me, no. Nah, come better than that. Come better than that. Come better than that. Because after 5 years, before you become a minister, you was nothing. You was placed in a seat because of you beg the people and them. They decided to give you a chance. Now you sit down in a black chair. I am the minister. I could do what I want. Let's just say you make billions. Me, you know how much? I just quoting big figures. Understand? And after 5 years, you come back out now, you come the former minister of, you become nothing again. You become nothing again. No power again you have. No power. So hear this one now. Health Minister Saieed Ali said an investigation was launched at the Cora Hospital after patients reported that they were not happy with the conditions there. In a response to the question from the media, he said he received a report this morning from the investigations.
I asked the Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Davlin Thomas, to investigate the issues relating to Cora. I got his report this morning. I can make certain parts of it public, but certain parts I can't because of patient confidentiality.
So there was some ongoing on back in Aldi that they were not satisfied with the treatment. Now, Minister Dayal Singh explained that the patient they were not happy that another patient was under the care of one doctor at the facility.
There was enough PPE for staff. That was not an issue. But the issue seems to have arisen from certain patients, I am told by the report, not agreeing to the way that Professor Hutchinson was managing one particular patient, and which led to escalation. That is all I can say on that matter.
Okay, so my thing is now, if we have 50 people up Cora, and a doctor is paying particular attention to one person, and that one person have what the other 49ers have, it will cause an uproar. It will. It will cause an uproar. Caller, good night.
Hello?
Yes, go right ahead, my dear.
Yes, good night, Saeed.
Yes?
Saeed, today I'm very disappointed in our Commissioner of Police.
Go ahead.
Do we have a failed state? We have joint army and police patrol. And most, as you indicated, 90% of the population is indoors by 6 p.m. Why we have to hire 4 security firms?
Thank you,
What is the racial stew that Prime Minister Rowley is talking about? There's nothing about racial stew.
No.
At the end of the day, it is the blatant corruption that the Trinidad public has seen.
Thank you, my
Good
dear.
night, Saeed.
Thank you, my dear. So we move into the Police Commissioner now on domestic violence. Police Commissioner Gary Griffith has issued a warning to the perpetrators of domestic violence. This warning came as a result of an increase in the number of domestic violence cases in Trinidad and Tobago.
This is no longer business as usual, that because of the establishment of the gender-based violence unit, especially in a situation where you have stay-at-home orders, it is not that you can actually do what you want in your home and expect that nothing will happen. Through the 555 system, the 999, contacting the gender-based violence unit, those individuals who commit such acts, you would continue to have a stay-at-home order, but it may not be at your home.
He urged victims to contact the police to report such cases.
I also like to take the opportunity to advise the possible victims, do not wait until it is too late. Use the opportunity to contact the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service so that you will not be a fatality.
Commissioner Griffith said there has been significant increase in the number of cases.
Trinidad and Tobago, based on the data that we have, it is no different. We have seen an escalation of assaults by beating. In February last year, there were 39. This year, 73. March last year, there were 42. This year, 96. And if you look overall, you will there's been a difference whereby it was 232 last year. There are 558 reports this year.
Now, viewers, now in Trinidad and Tobago, couples are home, boyfriend and girlfriends are home. Domestic violence will grow. Now that we have couples home, couples who not agreeing, the husband coming home and cussing, the wife cussing, bacchanal in the home, domestic violence will grow in the coming weeks and months because the both parties are home. So the neighbors in the neighborhood, when you hear your neighbor fighting or cussing and quarreling, walk outside and watch. Make it your business. Because you could stop a murder. You could stop a murder. So walk out and check on your neighbor and see what is taking place. Because the aggressive husband or the nagging husband and the aggressive wife or the nagging wife would cause a bacchanal, and there is nowhere to run but your house. So pay attention to your neighbors and be your neighbor's keeper during this time, because this will grow. Now that couples are home, it will grow. Caller, good night.
Good night.
Go right ahead.
Thanks for educating me on this show. Because 1 minute the Minister of Health said, do not wear the mask. And then he said, wear the mask.
Yes.
And then he said, don't go to CAFA. Don't go to the private, go to CAFA. And then he said, go to the private lab. Is it that they're now getting a cut from the private lab? Because I want to get smart.
I understand what you're saying.
Prime Minister saying about the racial, it will cause racial tension. Is it that he wants us to kind of excite that kind of racial? Is it that he wants us to get racially active? Because we're not prepared for that.
True.
We have enough to deal with.
Yes.
So they must try to be a little more positive. We want to be together in this fight.
Yes.
Citizens of TNT.
Thank you, my friend. You see, we are in this thing together. You see, COVID-19, it has no race and no color, you know. It have nothing like power in it, you know, because as you can see, ministers around the world are contracting COVID-19. It doesn't matter who you are. There's no color to it. There's no color to it. If the Prince of England could get it and come out of it, who is me and you? And he's the prince. Who is me and you? Caller, good night.
Hello, good night, Said.
Go right ahead.
I want Rowley and the PNM government to tell this nation what they have done with $3 billion in the space of 5 years. And our next thing too, I live in a residential area. Why they want to send God in my area too? Right?
Thank you, my friend. I would like to know, when they sit down and had their discussion, if an agreement, if a contract was signed, and now that the contract has been terminated, how much did it cost? Now you all will find I am stressing on this, but when Gazuba International, a Chinese firm, signed the multi-million-dollar contract to put up the housing structure, I think it's the waterfront in Port of Spain, if me make a mistake. They tendered for millions, and the government come and they cancel it, and we had to pay millions in US dollar, while the businessman of Trinidad and Tobago cannot get 1,000 US to pay for something that is coming from the States. I'm going to tell you something. I stink when I'm ready, you know. Believe me. Believe me. Because you see, anywhere money spending that taxpayers supposed to have, they're supposed to be transparent, it's a different story, you know. Because it's my money jumping up there. My tax-paying dollars jumping there. Caller, good night.
Saeed.
Yes?
Good evening again.
Go right ahead.
Something jumped out to me while you was carrying on the program there. So the Minister of National Security is saying that the population say they feeling safe, so there is no need for the additional security. And the Prime Minister is saying something different. He is saying that it is causing a racial divide.
Yep.
Which one is true? All the best.
Thank you, my friend. That is why I'm touching on it. Let me tell you something. The Heritage and Stabilization Fund, I will tell you, it causing a stir. It causing a stir because there's billions. And I have to find a reason to go down in that. I tell all you, I have an intelligent unit running. It up and running. It up and running. I will touch on something today and come back the next day and label everything in the open. We have no helicopter. Listen to this, eh? We have no helicopter to do air patrol. No helicopter. But somebody told me, said, Saeed, why you think they need a plane to patrol the residential area? You tell me, Saeed. I'm giving you something. He gave me something that is way heavy. It's way heavy. And the next thing, it has landlords. Listen to this, eh? The bank, if a landlord paying loan for the property, the bank gave them 3 months deferrals, no payment for 3 months. Landlords throughout Trinidad are demanding their tenants for rent. They are demanding their tenants for rent. Now let me tell you something. All the time your tenant renting from you, everything was smooth and nice. Now we end up in a little pandemic. The bank decide now to give you a 3 months grace. And the easiest thing you could do, instead of you put out a tenant who have been renting with you for 2 years or 3 years, and you could give them a little grace. A little grace. Because the bank passed on a little grace to you. So let me ask you something now. If you put out this tenant, and that tenant tell their friend, and their friend tell their friend about this tenant, you think you're going to get anybody to come in your place? Common sense is a serious thing. Not everybody have, you know. Not everybody have that. Caller, good night.
Hello, good night, sir.
Go right ahead.
I'm not going to say my name, but I'm not working since this COVID incident. They tell us to go to the police station to get the NIB form.
Yes.
To fill it out, and well, I cannot do it online. So I went to the Sinapona branch to drop off the form today. But unfortunately, I met 2 security guards there. I told them that I cannot put it online. I fill out the form and I bring it in to drop it. They said I have no one there to take the forms. So I said, what am I supposed to do?
No one in the Tunapuna branch or the Tunapuna police station?
The Tunapuna NIB office.
Oh, the NIB office?
Yeah.
So they have no one. What time you went?
I went there about 9 this morning.
About 9 o'clock this morning and nobody there?
No, I just had 2 security guards.
Wow, so the place was more or less empty from workers?
No entry, nobody couldn't go into the office.
Wow.
Everybody was outside. It had about 3 persons after me.
So no workers to fill out the form for you?
Nobody to receive the form.
Thank you, my dear. So you see, viewers, I tell you, we ending up in some problems. We ending up in some problems. When we could have had planning a month ago, 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, how to deal with it. After 3 weeks, the form was available today. So before I go any further, I want to send my condolences to one of my good friends. His mom passed away last night. They live at GP Road, Barapur. Is a police officer, Felicia Mahaberu. She was last attached to the Penal Community Police, and she was also the leader of the Debe Youth Club. So condolences to my friend. His mom passed away. She was a very, very wonderful policewoman down in the penal area. Very, very loving, caring, and kind officer. So condolences to you, my friend Jerry, and your family on the passing of your mom. Now, we understand that we cannot have more than 5 persons in our funeral. So the funeral will be private, just the family. And they will take it from there. So viewers, this is Real Talk. We are live from Monday to Friday on Synergy TV from 7 to 8 p.m. Tell your friends and your family. Now, Real Talk, we are doing a food drive in order to help the less fortunate. So it doesn't matter what you can contribute. Please assist us so we can help others. It's not about fame and popularity. It's not about that. When somebody's starving, there's no fame in that. There's no popularity in that. You could be driving a BMW today, or an X5 today, or even a Mercedes-Benz, and by the end of the month, the bank sees it back, they take your business, you end up with nothing. And you will be looking for help. So feel free to get in touch with me, 339-1670 or 238-6716. Any one of those numbers, you can get in touch with me, and we can make arrangement for whatever you have to donate. Business people, now is the time that the public needs you. You don't just wait for Christmas to give out. You don't. Because whole year, every festival, every season, every weekend, every fortnight, people buying something in the business places. And now is the time that you should give back to your community. To your community. So, Real Talk will be hosting the very first food drive for this year, 2020. And I need your help in reaching out to the people. You see, one thing I got to tell you. It had I think it's a counselor from some area. He was giving out goodies in a bag. You had a picture? He was giving out goodies in a bag. And you know what they do? They write their name on the bag. They print their name on the bag. So you would know, I gave it to you when you was in need. So when you hear election come around, remember to give you a bag of grocery? Boy, sad boy. It's sad. It's very sad. I wonder if this individual have no shame. Serious. I wonder if this individual have no shame. You print your name on the grocery bag, boy, and you're giving it out to people, boy. How sad that is, boy. Eh? So you trying to tell me now, that when election come around to remember I gave you a bag of grocery? Were we playing tit for tat? Block the person name. Face. Watch me. When I saw that, I was like, what the jail? It's sad. I see people giving out groceries and them name not on the bag. The mayor for Shogunas one time gave out some hampers. I didn't see she put the name on the bag. I didn't see that. Eh? You take your time and you design your thing and you make sure I put my name on it, you know. Make sure I put my name on it, you know. Because I'm giving out groceries, you know. And I want the people to know is I will give it out, you know. Come back to me, guys. Do you know who this print name on bags? Big groceries. Small groceries. But when I see that one nah, I can't believe that. I couldn't believe that. But nevertheless, you do your thing. So viewers, Real Talk is keeping his food drive. I need your assistant. Your assistant's not going in my pocket. As you have seen, 1 or 2 times in 2 years, I asked for your assistant. It never went in my pocket. Never. I'm doing this free for all you. Without a cost to educate all you and to let you know your rights. So I've started this last night. And keep in mind, tomorrow is Good Friday. We will not have any show tomorrow. It will be the Easter weekend. Monday we would have no show. But we have a rerun. I don't know if you have the rerun for tomorrow, but I know Saturday we'll have the rerun. But nevertheless, I will try my best to be here Tuesday with you all to give you all the good news that's happening in Trinidad and Tobago. Caller, good night.
Saieed, pleasant good night and all the best for the season.
Same to you.
Saieed, how low these people could go again? Why politics have to come in this? People hungry in the country, people sick, people dying. Why everything is politics with this government? Eh? This man is downright low and dirty. Thank you.
I'll tell you, boy, it's sad, boy. It's sad. So to my business friends and them out there, call me tomorrow, 339-1670. Saieed, pass and collect something. It's not for me, it's for the less fortunate. They don't have a voice, but thank God I create a platform for them. Thank God I create a platform for them. So people of Trinidad and Tobago, those of you that have, and have abundantly, I will mention your company name, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with Saieed mentioning your company name on TV. So I shift in Real Talk now, because it's not just about passing legislations and getting you all smart so you would understand what is taking place around you. Switching gears a bit to help the less fortunate in society. Now there's houses that I want to build for people, but I want to do it with your help. I want you all to share in the blessings. Let me tell you something. It's a blessing that have more on TV, you know. It's a blessing it have more on TV, you know. And it's by the grace of God and moving forward without asking anybody. You see this? I'm proud to say this. Without asking anybody to fund my show, I'm doing it. And I'm doing it just for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. So it's a very small favor I'm asking of you. Whether it's cash, whether it's grocery, is not a problem. If you want to donate cash, it's not a problem. I could get things wholesale. So your dollar would reach further than just one person. Your dollar could stretch to 2 persons instead of 1. So I'm asking for a contribution. Caller, good night.
Good night. How are you?
Aye, okay, go right ahead.
Yeah, this Prime Minister trying to put a racial divide in this country. Election is coming up soon. And this Prime Minister starting the prank already to put the tribal people to come against the next race. But let me tell you something. It won't work this time, Mr. Prime Minister. and you know what? Did you find out what really came in the container when the vice president of Venezuela came?
I go boss IS and the people are going to be surprised.
They was bringing gold in Trinidad. I done.
Thank you, my friend. I go boss IS and I might be surprised. But nevertheless, I want all your help. I'm begging tonight. You know why? I'm not begging on my behalf, you know. I'm begging on the less fortunate. On the less fortunate. A lady called and she said, Saeed, I have 3 children, I need milk and Pampers. Her husband was working, but because of this situation, he is presently unemployed. So I'm begging for all your help. Not for me. Not for me. For other people. That is what I'm doing. A little would go a long way. I want to raise at least $100,000 to feed about 200 people. That's what I want to do. So viewers, be safe. Enjoy the night until we meet again. 339-1670, 238-6716. Call me, whether it's cash or grocery. So before we go tonight, we have a little thing from Oropoon. Guys.
All on our land and move away this pestilence, move away this plague. You will protect children, you will protect elderly, you will protect the services that is in the front, and you will cover our land and remove this, protect our people, protect the world, and make it a better place. Protect all aboard and make this to teach us that you are God and to help us. We are in this together, God, and we pray that you will lift us from this world of sorrow, of grief and tears. Lift off every country, every island, every people, for we are one and we represent the human race. And let love prevail in all homes. Let love prevail in all streets. Let love prevail in the hearts of the people, that they will come back to you and you will bless this nation of Trinidad and Tobago. You will bless the nations of the world, and we will recognize you as Almighty God. We will recognize you as the true and the living God. We will recognize you for your works on the earth. And God, we pray that your Spirit will walk this world and walk this earth and bring back restoration and bring back order and most of all, let love abide in the hearts of mankind. And we pray and we thank you in Jesus' name. Amen and amen.
So viewers, that was from the Oropoon area. When I saw that, I had to share it with you. Now viewers, we are out of time for tonight, but nevertheless, I will be right back with you here on Tuesday. Feel free to contact me, 339-1670, 238-6716, and let's come together and feed the poor in society. I am Saieed Ali. This is Real Talk. Give God praise in the time of need, and He will send the correct person to you in your timing. Good night.